Khan, hey, Shalom, Shalom, Akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kwadash. I would also like to give a double honors to the beloved elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which will be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. Shalom. Hey, Shalom, beloved Akim and Akwaf. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of our power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to tap into a brief live stream through the spirit, pretty much talking to the atrocities, of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, which we know there's many of them. We know there's many of them. I'm going to isolate one in particular, the Wounded Knee Massacre. Lord willing, we're going to just dive in to some information regarding the Wounded Knee Massacre, grab a few pictures, and just prophetically make it all make sense why the Lord specifically said, Esau, he would remember Amalek. All right? He will remember Amalek, and ultimately there'll come a time where they're wiped off the planet, bro. All right? These people, the so-called white man, woman, and child, all right, starting with the global elites on down to the regular Joe Six-Pack, all right, have committed nothing but atrocities to us, man. All right? And the scriptures highlight his bloodthirst, all right? The scriptures highlight his hate towards us, man. The scriptures highlight his unforgiving nature towards us, man. And now we're seeing it in real time, man. All right, in the form of these ICE agents, descending upon Jake, just the way the whole system set up, to where this system that Esau set up is totally anti-Jake. This system is created for us to fall victim, okay, to a situation within his empire that puts us on the defensive. We're always in a position where we gotta work 10 times harder to get halfway by. Jake is in a position where it's never enough. They told us to tie our bootstraps, and get it how we live. And here it is. You do that, then they find a way to knock you down, bro. Society finds a way to knock you down. But this is all, it's part of the curses. The curses are resting upon us. But ultimately Esau, all right, was the main source, right, of our affliction. And he continues to be. All right. Hence why the Lord hates this dude. And matter of fact, let's open up with that. Let's establish that fact real quick. All right. You got one that would claim to believe in the Bible, or
know the scriptures or be a theologian or what have you. But here it is, you ask them, does God hate? And they'll tell you no. All right, when he makes it clear who he hates. All right. Now, real quick, let's go to the book of Romans real quick. And again, I have some pieces of information I want to share with you. Aki, I'm not off again. We're just going to dive into the Wounded Knee Massacre and just tap into some information regarding that, using that as a avenue, right, just to make a point regarding, why the Lord's going to do what he's going to do to Esau, ultimately. All right. Esau will not be forgiven. Look at Romans 9, right? I'm going to start up a little bit. I'm going to start at verse 11, right? Romans 9 and 11, and it reads, right? This is Apostle Paul, man. Okay, speaking. Listen, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of power according to election might stand. So it was via predestination. All right, check it out. Not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. You see, so ultimately at the end of the day, Esau's fate is to serve Jake. All right, unbeknownst to him, whether he likes it or not. All right, he is going to be in a position of servitude, all right, for 1,000 long, drawn-out years, right? And then Obadiah 1 and 18 is going to manifest. Look it, here's the point. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated, all right? And this is in the New Testament, okay? This is in the New Testament, bro, all right? The Lord highlights also in the book of Malachi, all right? The Old Testament. I want to start in the New Testament because, you have individuals that want to stand on the foundation of all. That was the old God in the Old Testament. He was angry. Nah, man. That was Romans 9, man. Romans 9 and 13, okay? This is Malachi, all right? 1, verses 1 and 2, right? It reads, the burden of the word of the Lord Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, where hast thou loved us? And Jake feels like this because, we've gone through the mill. We have a history of being held captive by this damn demon and other heathens as well. We bear a shame, right, that none of these other heathen nations bear. Being, again, our roots go back, as according to the world, to slavery, bro, or being hijacked, bro, for our religion or our land. Being totally abused and colonized and just completely robbed, bro. We have that history. It's a shameful history. Salakia, forgive me. And so Jake has a mindset where they don't believe that the Lord loves them, but that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. Right? Whom the Lord loveth, he chastiseth, man. And what Jake doesn't understand is that the Lord chastised us the way he did because he loves us, bro. He wounded us with a wound of an enemy because he loves us, man. And that's going to be shown as we when we get to the very end of this thing. All right, Jake is gonna come to that conclusion. They're gonna know. They're gonna have to find it out the hard way though, right? But check this out. Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord Yahweh. Yeah, I loved Jacob and I hated Esau. You see that? Well, hold on. And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. And that's going to happen. That's a future prophecy. The Lord's going to lay his mountains and his heritage waste, all right, for the dragons of the wilderness. That's a future prophecy. That's talking about Babylon the Great being destroyed and then ultimately Esau being eradicated. Remember, the Lord said he's going to cut off son and nephew regarding the wicked. That's evil E. You see? So the Lord hates this dude. Okay, and if we love the Lord, so do we. Matter of fact, let me get a quick precept real quick to prove that. See, the elect are coming in a whole different spirit from the 2/3 of our people. Here it is. They've grown to love Esau. They've fallen victim, to Stockholm syndrome, right? We're complete contrary. The whole full elect. All right, we look at this dude like, yo, don't trust him, don't go near him. Keep your distance. Keep an eye on him. Look at Proverbs 8. Bear with me. In verse 13, it reads, the fear of the Lord, Yahweh, is to hate evil, bro. In that same chapter we were just in Malachi, it highlights Esau as the border of wickedness, man. He is the devil that the Bible speaks of, bro. Okay? The Lord hates him, and so do we. Look at the fear, because we fear the Lord. All right? Look at the fear of the Lord Yahweh is to hate evil, pride, arrogancy, and the evil way. These are all buzzwords and talking points regarding Esau. Okay? He fits each one of those categories like a winter cotton glove. All right? Tight and snug. That's him. Look at, and the froward mouth do I hate. You see? So the Lord hates all these things, man. All right? And so do we. All right? And for good reason. Again, we're going to tap into some information regarding what this nigga done did. And this is just one scenario out of the many. All right? Out of the many, bro. You know, and this might get my channel flagged or strike, but it's okay. It has before. I've gone into this before, and they got me. But it's all good. You know? I almost wanted to go into the Delectable Negro, man. You know? But I thought twice on that. This nigga was eating Jake, bro. Come on, man. Making shoes and jackets out of him. Furniture. You know, using Jake's hair for pillow stuffing. All types of crazy stuff, bro. Keeping Jake's members for memorabilia, bro. You know? You think this dude's not gonna get paid back? These are the same people that these niggas Genesis and them are trying to save, man. Come on, man. The Lord hates this dude. The Lord hates this nation. As a matter of fact, let me do this. Let me let me see here. Let me just get this real quick. Let me see here. I want to get this. Right? Let me see here. Khan. Right? So this is the book of Exodus chapter 17. Real quick, we're going to go back in time. Right? This is the book of Exodus chapter 17. I'm going to stop in verse 10 and then jump down. Right? And it reads, so Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek. Now, Amalek, for those of you that don't know, Amalek is the chief house of Esau. All right, you see the thumbnail I used of the spirit? You know, that small hat with the bangs on the side, right? And his through wife and finished daughter. That's Amalek. Okay, that's Amalek. All right. Now, this is talking to the war that we had against Amalek, and we were commanded to take them out. Look at, and Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. I'm jumping down to verse 13. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Right? So they were overwhelmed. Amalek was overwhelmed. Right? And the Lord, and you can read about Amalek when you go to the book of Genesis 36. As a matter of fact, I might go there real quick. As a matter of fact, let me show you something real quick. Right? This is why this nigga's so greedy. Bear with me. Let me just jump out of here real quick. No, real quick. Let me show you something real quick. I got to go to the blue letter because we're going to have to grab something. We're going to go back over to the Exodus. Bear with me, right? This is Genesis 36. Now, this goes into the descendants of Esau. All right, this chapter. Excuse me. Right? Now, the book of Genesis 36, I'm going to jump down. It talks to the dukes, all that. Which they reference that still in Europe. That's not a coincidence, Akiyam and Akwa. Esau, we know who you are, Esau. We know who you be. Right? This is the book of Genesis chapter 36. I want to start at verse 12. I'll go right to the point. And Timnah, right, was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son. Okay? And she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. So Amalek is a son of a concubine. Listen. These were the sons of Adah, right? Esau's wife. Now, real quick, I want to highlight his dad. So when you go to Eliphaz, right, which is Esau's oldest son, all right? So when you get Eliphaz, right, his name, you know, Lord willing, we're going to just dive in to some information we got. It's not playing. It's playing on this side. Why is that video playing? Let me pause that. Oh, see you later. All right, let's go. Let's see if this will play.
Strong's H 464. Eliphaz.
Now, real quick, right? His name means, my God is fine gold. Okay? We see why evil E in the form of Amalek heaped up all the resources. All right? And amongst 13 specific families, they're doing all they're the 1%. Right? Sitting on so much, sitting on liquid resource. Right? Watching everybody else suffer. Right? We see why now. They make everything starts to make sense when you start to tap in and the Spirit reveals these things. You know? Amalek's dad, Eliphaz, which was Esau's first son. Okay? His name means, my God is fine gold. He's a covetous, greedy, rapacious, perverse, profane bastard. Okay? Literally, bastard. Okay? This is why he has the characteristic he has. All right? This is why he robbed the earth of all the resources, and he continues to do it. Right? While he looks down on the people, he calls Goyim, which just means nation. That's all Goyim means, but they like to throw that word around. And they're sitting back just watching everybody else suffer, bro. Because this is the mind of a madman. This is the mind of a greedy, a childlike king. You know? But anyways, the book of Exodus, back in the book of Exodus chapter 17, and this is why this says what it says as we tap in. Right? This is the book of Exodus, back in the book of Exodus chapter 17 and verse 10 again. And I'll jump back down. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. Jumping down to verse 13. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And this is not the first time the Lord states something of this capacity, man, regarding this nation. And we're going to show you. This is not the first time. This is not the first or last time he said something like this. All right? The Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, is dead set on extincting Esau. He's dead set on that. All right, we always highlight Obadiah 1 and 18, but it's in various other places too. You know, and here's one of them. Right? Check this out. He literally, the Lord said, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven, bro. All right, this is talking about Obadiah 1 and 18. Check it out. And Moses built an altar, right, and called the name of it. It says here Jehovah Nasi, but it's really Yahweh. It should be Yahweh Nasayah. Let me get this word real quick. I gotta go ahead real quick so I can see these characters real quick. Bear with me. I think it's Nasayah. Hold on, let me see something real quick. The book of Genesis here real fast. I'm sorry, I'm in Genesis. I'm tripping. Exodus, my bad.
Strong's H 3071. Jehovah Nissi. Jehovah Nissi.
No, it's Yahweh Nasayah is what it is. Yahweh Nasayah, right? And it means Yahweh is my banner, is what that means. Okay, as I'm reading it here in biblical usage, it means Yahweh is my banner. And is it Yahweh our banner? This is what banner are we raising up? Pursuing to Isaiah 13. Matter of fact, and that's how that's how we know these niggas are scared. And before I go get that, let me finish this precept on Exodus 17 and 16. For he said, because the Lord Yahweh has sworn that the Lord Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation, bro. And that includes this one. Okay? Right now, we're spiritually warring with this dude. Okay? Because Amalek, he deals with witchcraft. You see? When he would war with us, he would be dealing with witchcraft. That's why he still does that to this day. Esau is a wizard. All right? His old lady's a witch. They love witchcraft. You know? We're warring with them right now through the spirit. Them are them principalities that we're wrestling against, man. Our spiritual warfare. You see? In high places, bro. You see? It's talking to these niggas right here. But check this out. So let's go here real quick. Right. So Yahweh Nasayah means Yahweh is my banner. Right? And that's exactly the banner we're raising up right here in Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, man. Where evil is sitting on this throne. Isaiah 13 and 1. The burden of Babylon, which is talking about America, right? If you can receive it, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see, right? Because he was a prophet. Prophets in old times were called seers, right? What's that? Is that 1 Samuel 99? Right? Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. The Bible, the banner, the high mountain, America. Okay? The mountain is likened unto a large government. This is talking to Babylon. This is the burden of Babylon we're talking about. Pursuant to the first verse, right? So lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, right? Yahweh is my banner. Yahweh Nasayah, right? Exalt the voice of them. Exalt the voice unto them, right? Isaiah 58, right? Shake the hand, right? And tell them off, right? Who should declare his way to his face? Right? Job, what's that? Job 21? The men of the Lord, man. And who should repay him for what he had done? Right? As that precept says, the Lord. All right? It's the Lord. The Lord's going to finish this dude out. All right? Let's go. Look at that they may go into the gates of the nobles, the noblemen, the elect of the wicked. You see? The elite. All right, this truth is going into the gates of the elite. You see? They're hearing this thing, bro. They're watching these videos. They're tapping in. All right? They're examining the situation for where it is, trying to figure out how they can stop it, because they understand that it's a higher power doing it. As much as they don't believe in the Lord, they know the Lord exists. You better believe it. Because again, why would they weaponize the Bible against us, knowing, if they didn't know, of the true name of the Lord, of the reality of the true Israelites, the validity behind the power of this omnipotent source? Why would they do it? To tell the lie, you must know the truth. Simple as that. I cannot lie to you unless I know the truth behind the lie I'm telling you. Think about it. And you know this, Aki Aminakwal. I'm just speaking out loud. You know, it's not possible. In order for me to lie to you, in order for you to lie to me, you got to know the truth behind that. There's got to be truth behind what you're saying to me for you to lie to me. Or otherwise, the truth, you're not telling me a lie. The lie is not, it's not a lie. Right? Yeah, man. And it's beautiful because as time goes on and we continue to embark on salvation through the Spirit and the Lord keeps revealing things, it's becoming more and more clear that our power liveth, man. It's becoming more and more clear, bro, that our power liveth. Now, real quick, all right, regarding the atrocities of this bastard, right, that he committed against us. Let me see here. Now, this is the Wounded Knee Massacre, right, via Wikipedia. Now, real quick, I'm going to just read this part. I'm going to show some clips as well, some pictures real quick, right? But check this out. It says, the Wounded Knee Massacre, also known as the Battle of the Wounded Knee. And it wasn't a battle. All right, let me just make sure I highlight that. It wasn't a battle, it was a massacre, all right? As they first mentioned it. It wasn't no battle. All right, when you're gonna find out that let me just continue on. The Wounded Knee Massacre, also known as the Battle of Wounded Knee, involved nearly 300 Lakota people, deleted by soldiers of the United States Army. All right, and what you're gonna find out is the majority of these people that were deleted, they were women and children, bro. They were women and children for the majority of them, man. So much for a battle, right? Unarmed as well. Look it. More than 250 up to 300 Lakota people were deleted and 51 wounded of men and 47 women of children and some whom died later. Lying. 25 U.S. soldiers were killed and 39 were wounded. Come on, man. All right. Only 25 U.S. soldiers were deleted, right? Versus that 300 men, women, and children. Look it. 19 soldiers were awarded the Medal of Honor specifically for Wounded Knee, and overall 31 for the campaign, bro. Now watch this. And of course, this was over, land. Because Esau wants to continue. And again, it's all biblical prophecy. What do you call it? There's a term for it. Manifest destiny. You see, because it was prophecy, the Wadi Habashim Mashai, because it was prophecy for him to come over here and do what he did. But guess what? There's a penalty for these things, man. All right? There's a penalty for these things. All right, now this is the first picture right here. We'll start with this picture right here. Right? Let me get this way so it doesn't mess up on us. Hold on, bear with me. There we go. So this is the first picture right here. As you can see, you got them Edomites, and that's what it is. Yep, throwing Jake in an open grave. Throwing Jake in an open graves, bro. And they were doing this all over Babylon, bro. All right, you got these devils just standing there, looking them up top with all their guns out. Getting ready to throw more Jake in there. Yeah, man. This is what the scriptures are talking about, man. When it says that the Babylon, the land of Babylon, is filled with the blood of the saints. Right, let me go get that real quick. You see, we're walking over our ancestors, bro. They built cities they've literally I forgot where it happened. It was down south, but they flooded a whole Jake city. Okay, there's certain cities that they've just built over, But check this out. This is why the scripture says this, man. You think Esau's gonna escape what he's done? Real quick, Revelation chapter 17. There's more. I'm gonna go through them pictures. Right? The book of Revelation chapter 17. And I'm gonna start with verse I'm gonna go straight to the point. Verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, bro. Okay? Drunken with the blood of the saints, man. Who are the saints? The Israelites, man. Psalms 50 and 5. All right? We made a covenant with the Lord. All right? By sacrifice, bro. All right? The woman is talking about Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, bro. And this is just one example of how this whore is drunken by the blood of the saints. This is just one example out of so many. But look, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushai, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration, bro. And you better believe this blood has to be accounted for. The Lord, Yahushai, is going to disclose this blood, bro. It tells us this in Isaiah 26, that the Lord's going to disclose the blood, right? And you already know, according to the law, right? What's that? Numbers 35 and 33. All right. The only way this land's going to be cleansed is if Isaiah 34 takes place, right? That great sacrifice in Basra. And that's the reality. Now, real quick, let's go back to the clips. Yup. This devil's been caught red-handed. All right. And I'm not being facetious when I say that. In the pride, where he's so proudful, He leaves it up online. It's on Wikipedia. He left it up. So this is him. He boasts in his wickedness, man. This is what this is about. This is him boasting. All right, let's continue. You have some drawings of what went down. Well, yeah, we don't care about your memorial, Evil E. Your 29 soldiers that went down, whatever. All right, hold on. Right, hold on. And this is pretty much tapping into the map, right, they used to infiltrate the land. Matter of fact, let me read that for you. Right, this is the North Dakota and South Dakota map, right, from Indian land cessions in the United States. Pretty much this is the map of country embraced in the campaign against the Sioux Indians Messiah War. Okay, hold on, get a little more. Let me just continue this on. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see what Esau is doing. Oh, here we go. Bear with me, Aki. I'm going to show you the pictures like that. Here we go. It's gonna get interesting. And again, those are just the maps going into how they, you know, where they were gonna come in and infiltrate, right? And this right here made me sick right here. Now this right here, right? Check this out. Now what this says, this is General L.W. Colby, right? A damn Edomite demon, right? Holding Zentkala Nuni, right? Little Lost Bird is her Indian name. She was found alive on the snow, right? She was found alive on the snow in the field, right? 4 days after the massacre, still tied to her dead mother's back, bro. Okay? What do you think they did with this? What do you think they did with this little girl? Look at this damn demon, bro. With his filthy paws on that little girl, man. What do you think this damn demon, all right, or these demons were doing with that girl, bro? With that little baby? Yeah, you can only imagine. Because we already know what they do now with the children. Right? Look at this. Yup, bodies laid out is what this is right here. Let me read this to you real quick. Right? The scene 3 weeks afterwards, with several bodies partially wrapped in blankets in the foreground. All right, they were going through the tents, just slaughtering. Look at the remains of the tents that they had built. You know what I mean? You know how God gets down. You know, these niggas these devils went in there just spraying things down, bro. Look it. There was bodies sprawled out everywhere, bro. Let me read this to you real quick. Photograph sold as being that of the medicine man. Yo, that's the medicine man right there. I'm going to zoom in on that. Hold on. Medicine, his name was Yellowbird, right? Is his Native American name. The presence of the rifle, however, suggests that it is actually the body of Black Coyote. So they're not sure who is it. They're not sure if it's the medicine man or Black Coyote. But needless to say, you know, this is how they did us, man. This is how these niggas did us. You think the Lord's gonna just let this ride off into the sunset? Hold on. It's open by, just sprawled out. I'm not sure what this picture is right here. Oh no, that's just a hospital, I guess. The so-called Holy Cross Hospital. Yeah, okay. And then these demons. What demon is this? This is Captain Alan Capron Sr. Demon. Hold on now. And more demons. Another demon. And them are the demons that were behind it, leading the charge. And then we're going to see more bodies sprawled out. Yup. Look how they did the chief right there, man. You know, Esau's walking around taking pictures, right? After his mayhem, right? Look it. It says Mini Konju Lakota Sioux Chief, but his Native American name was Spotted Elk, lies dead after the massacre of Wounded Knee, 1890, bro. Okay? Yup. But Esau's supposed to just get away with this. This demon. Nelson A. Miles. And hey, when you they're back here today. Cause this happened in the late 1800s. You know, and it's right back to the open grave when they were throwing us in open graves right there. That was them cleaning it all up. Cleaning up their mess, thinking they were going to just be able to just get away with it. Nah, man, you ain't going to get away with that. All right, the blood of the saints crieth unto the Lord, man. All right, just like the blood of Abel, right? Cried unto the Lord. You see? This land is soaked with the blood of the saints, man. You ain't going to get away with this. And like I was saying, they're back here today. All right? Because we already know, right? You already know, beloved Akim and Akwa. What did the Lord say? Let's go here real quick. They're back here today, and so are we. Right? So are we. The same Jake that was being mutilated back in the late 1800s from all the tribes are back here today. And so is Esau. Watch this. Bear with me. Let me go here. Let me see here. Bear with me, Akim and Akwa. Oh, here we go. It's right here. I always get those two confused. It's Numbers. The book of Numbers, chapter 14. I was in Deuteronomy, forgive me. The book of Numbers, chapter 14, and verse 18. And it reads this, right? The Lord Yahweh is long-suffering. Right, he'll wait you out lifetimes. This is what he's done with Esau. He's waited Esau out lifetimes. Right, look at the Lord Yahweh is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression. And that's what he's going to do on behalf of the Israelites. Right? And by no means clearing the guilty, which is Esau. All right, he's guilty as charged. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. All right, generation is what? About 30 years, right? So what? 90 to 120 years every night you come back. This was the late 1800s. Yeah, everybody's back on the planet from that time. You see? All right, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's men prophesying against this nigga that he done shot down and threw into an open grave, bro. And various other atrocities he's done to Jake, bro. You know? Lynching Jake, burning Jake at the stake. Jake is back from that time period. You know? Chanting this dude down. Right? And now he's in a position now where he's seeing his empire that he took 250 years to build crumble before his eyes, bro. All right? These Edomites are watching their whole system self-destruct. You see? And we're rejoicing in every moment of it. We're on the highways and byways telling them he's the devil. All right? Going into the reality of the salvation that's going to come to the elect of Israel, man. And how this man's going to be removed out of power. Right? Put in captivity. And then ultimately eradicated. Pursuant to Obadiah 1 and 18. Okay? How do you think he feels about this, man? And then here it is. They hear us telling them that the Babylon's gonna get destroyed by 200 million warheads via World War III. And then they look on the news, and what do they see? Tensions in the Middle East, right? Western Asia. You know, Trump separating from the NATO and the EU, trying to at least, and it's gonna go down. They're gonna go at it, right? Revelation 17 and 16. You see? And hey, and this is the reason why when you go, I got this right here, and I know you, Aki, you know, you also, you know, you well-to-do, you know, beloved teachers, you know, got this book, right? This is the Bible, Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary, right? And when you go to Esau, right, it reads this real quick. This is page 142, right? Under Edom, Edomites, all right, the so-called white man, woman, and child, right? It says this: Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments, bro. All right, look it. See notably Isaiah 34, which is talking about that great sacrifice in Basra, which we quoted. Isaiah 63, right? Who is this that coming from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Right, look it. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Why do you think that is? We're tapping into a little bit of information regarding it right now. And when you go to the scriptures, let's go get this real quick. Right? Let's see here. Oh, wrong chapter. I'm in James 3. It's James, the second chapter, Salakia. Here we go. All right. This is the book of St. James, chapter 2, and verse 13. It reads, "For he shall have judgment without mercy that hath showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment." You see? So Esau, because he showed no mercy, when he falls victim, all right, to the judgment that's written, all right, he's going to receive no mercy. That's how this thing's going to play out. Genesis 1. Khan. This is how this thing's going to play out. He's going to receive no mercy. It's that simple. And the Lord had this dude in a snare the whole time. Esau thought he was doing something productive. All right, when he was slitting Jake's throat. Okay? Eating Jake. Burning Jake. Cutting Jake up. Hanging Jake. Right? Spitting in Jake's face. You know? Destroying Jake, destroying the nucleus family of Jake. You know? Putting Jake in these ghettos and these barrios and these reservations, bro. And then planting drugs in there and setting up the scenario for violence, putting guns in the phone call. God damn, Dad. Salakia, I got on the phone call. Let me see if this is still working. Bear with me. Salakia, forgive me for the Aki. I'm in Aqua. I have gotten I got a phone call. Let me just make sure this is still working properly. Which I'm sure it is now, but let me just confirm. Bear with me, Aki. Let me see this. Bear with me, Aki. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, right? Damn near forgot what I was saying, but yeah, man. Hey, Esau, the whole time Esau was working these atrocities on us. He didn't consider his latter end, as the scriptures say. He didn't consider it. He didn't even glance towards that way. All right? As he was testing his sword on Jake Youth to see if he can cut right through him with one strike. He didn't even consider these things, bro. All right? But now the time's coming where the tables are going to turn. Right? And the Lord's going to allow you to fall into the hands of Yasha Allah. I want to get this real quick in the book of Ezekiel. chapter 35. Hey, that's what we're relishing in every moment of seeing this do far. I know we are. You beloved Aki Aminak Wathman. Myself, I know I can speak on behalf of you beloved Aki Aminak Wathman. We're relishing in every moment and seeing this do fall. Ezekiel chapter 35. I'm going to start at verse 5, right? Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood will pursue thee. See if thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. You see? So Esau didn't consider the blood that he was shedding to Jake, right, as he was erecting, this diabolical empire. All that blood has to be paid back for. There's no calling it even, or there's no love, there's no amount of sacrifice he can give, there's no repenting, there's no saying sorry, none of that. You are the sacrifice. Okay? You are going to be the way the score gets settled. Right? Isaiah 34, as it's highlighted. All over, we highlighted it. Zon even highlighted it. All right? We highlighted it. We ain't bringing up. Matter of fact, I think I may end up getting that, though. Right? That's the way the Lord's going to settle this thing, man. Okay? Your blood must be shed according to, thus saith the law. Right? Your blood must be shed for what you've done. Yeah, and then and we know you scared, too. Right? Because it's going to happen. Look it. Continuing on. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate. Right? This is the book of Ezekiel 35 and 7. And cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth, bro. Right? Mount Seir, Esau is Edom. Right? America will be like under Mount Seir. Right? The Lord's going to cut this place off. It's going to be desolate. Right? Look at, and I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword, bro. And ultimately, the sword of the Lord are those missiles that's going to descend upon you, as it says in Isaiah 34. Right? It's going to be an aerial attack on this diabolical bastard. That's how the Lord's going to do him. The sword of the Lord is going to be bathed in heaven and is going to come down upon Idumea. Right? Look. And let me see here. And I will make thee a perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, bro. Okay? Babylon the Great's finished. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Okay? You're going to know in that day, because thou hast said these two nations, right? The southern and northern kingdom, and these two countries, right? Jerusalem and Samaria, shall be mine, and we will possess it. Whereas the Lord Yahweh was there, right? And now they are not laying talking about aha, right? As it says in Ezekiel, right? Not realizing they're just there for the limited amount of time. Their time there is limited. All right? A great eviction is about to take place on that land. All right? How do we know that? Luke 21 and 24. Right? Let me continue on. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. So the Lord's going to match the energy Esau dished out. But what's so scary about Esau's judgment is that we're going to be immortal when he served that cold plate of judgment. We're going to be immortal. He wasn't immortal when he was tormenting us. Evil, he's going to have immortals on his ass. How much more? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness, bro. Whew. That's why the Lord said he's going to judge Esau according to his anger. And it's going to be according to the Lord's anger. It's going to be divine. Right? Let me continue on. And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. See? So judgment's coming to you, E. Judgments, let's read that one more time. And I will make myself known among them. All right, the Israelites, us Israelites, when I have judged thee. You see? Because the Lord's going to allow you to fall into our hands. Look. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, and I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. See, Esau thought the Lord forsook us, but we are not forsaken. Let me get a quick precept. See, and we're rejoicing in this. The Wadi Ha'abashim Yahushai for this glorious, beautiful truth. This is why it's called the Comforter. You know, because we know we're going to be vindicated. You know, thus saith the Lord. Check this out. The Lord didn't forget about us. It may, from a glance, based on what we've gone through, it may seem like he has. Nah. The reality of us waking up to who we are and being given this, the fact that Yahweh Shai's ministry is resurrected on the earth, all right, gives credence to the Lord didn't forget about us. He will not forsake us. Look, Jeremiah 51 and verse 5. For Israel have not been forsaken, bro. All right, nor Judah. All right, nor Judah of his God. Come on now. Look at, of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, bro. We are not forsaken, man. And this is getting me amped up. We are not forsaken. The Lord did not forsake us, bro. All right? We here. The Lord's dealing. The Lord's about to come. You see, we just got to get through this final stretch, you know, of the Lord's anger, because he's pissed. Yahweh was pissed, bro. You know, and it's through Yahweh Shai that, you know, we're receiving a good report, you know, Lord willing, you know. But needless to say, he promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right, through covenants and oaths, right, that we would not be forsaken, bro. All right? All we got to do is go back to the contract. All right, let's continue on. Though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel, right? We were going off, crazy off. You know, that's why we were evicted first, right? The Northern Kingdom was given the boot first. See y'all later, right? And then the Southern Kingdom got evicted. All right, after that, you know, Northern Kingdom, we went into captivity under the Assyrians, right? Under Shalmaneser the fifth. And the Southern Kingdom went into captivity under Nebuchadnezzar the second. The Babylonians, bro. That's how that played out. You know? As far as the eviction's concerned. And then ultimately we were discontinued from our heritage, you know, upon the Romans sacking the Second Temple during the time of 70 AD, right? Titus and Vespasian. We were already over here. Northern Kingdom was already over here tripping, you know. Southern Kingdom had to flee into the wilderness, the interiors of Africa, what have you, right? And then we forgot who we were completely. Going into transatlantic, you know, sub-Saharan slave trade captivities, and the Europeans descended upon us over here. We were out of there. We were finished, bro. And here we are today, being woken up through the word, through the preaching of the word. The same book that Esau used, he weaponized against us, right? For us to serve him and fear him, is the same book that the Lord's using to bring us back to him. Showing you that all man's goings are the Lord. It's all the Lord. You know? It's all the Lord, bro. Let me see here. Oh, and I'm done with this. I got to go back. Right? We got to go back to Ezekiel real quick. Ezekiel 30, back in Ezekiel 35, I want to continue on. In verse Con, hey, forgive me. I had to take that phone call. I'm going to just check the stream. Forgive me. I had to take that phone call. I'm not going to forgive me. Salakia. Let me just make sure this stream is still working. Let's see here. Bear with me, Aki. Con. Oh, the water. Con. On my side, it's just rolling. Salakia. Okay, Con. That's good. Hey, the water. On my side, it was just spinning and spinning. The water. I had to take that phone call. Salakia. Forgive me. That was my brother. I had to take that. But needless to say, I forgot what I was saying, but let me just go back to the precept. Back in Ezekiel. Well, let's read this again. Right, Ezekiel 35 and verse 13 again. Thus with your mouth have ye boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Right, all the rhetoric Esau's been spewing, all right, from the World Economic Forum sit-downs they be having, right, via Noah, right, however you say that bastard's name, right, and Klaus Schwab spewing madness, talking about they can make God as mad as they want, right, they don't need to worry about a famine. Well, fine, we're gonna see, E. Look it, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of those of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea. Here's another scripture highlighting the eradication of the Edomites. All right, the Lord is not going to forgive these people. All right, this is another witness. All right, that the Lord, and again, I mentioned earlier, we always highlight Obadiah 1 and 18 because that's the final finale. But the Lord specifies it all throughout that he's going to delete this nigga, man. And Job is in there. It's all coded. It's in there. You know, Isaiah, Psalms, it's there. You know? Look it. Let's continue on, right? So will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it. Right? And they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, man. You're going to know that the Lord liveth, man. Hey, and guess what? Let me go get that. Let's jump down some chapters. Let's go to chapter 25? I wanted to get this real quick. I'm going to start at verse 12. And it reads, right? Ezekiel 25 and 12. And it reads, Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Now, it's highlighting Judah, but understand, Judah's the head tribe. You see? And what do they say in the world? Shit rolls downhill. You see? And we know Esau did the most to Judah, you know, at the end of the day, you know, because the Judah's being the head tribe, they had to, you know, that's the head tribe. Like the older brother gets the worst of the punishment between him and his little brother, you know? So at the end of the day, but guess what? It was a trickling effect. You know? They greatly offended Judah. They greatly offended all 12 tribes, man. This damn bastard. Right? Thus saith the Lord power, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and I will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword, bro. All right? Look it. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, bro. This is a classic right here. All right? And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. James Brown, that payback, bro. Yeah, that payback. You know, this is the faith and the patience of the saints, man. That payback. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, bro. And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord, power, Yahweh, bro. Again, it's going to be according, and I made this mention earlier, it's going to be according to the Lord's anger and according to the Lord's fury, because we are going to be like gods on the earth. We're going to be immortal. You see? We're going to be immortals, man. So the judgment effect, all right, that's going to take place upon Edom, it's going to be divine. It's going to be godly. It's going to be godlike. All right? Evil Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, has hell to pay. All right? And he's not going to get away. The Lord's not going to forgive him. Matter of fact, what did I want? I wanted that Isaiah 34. Matter of fact, we can close out with the Isaiah 34 because another precept just came to me. I want to get this real quick. We'll close out with the Isaiah 34. I'll hit the comment board real quick through the Spirit too. Let's get this Amos real quick. Amos 1 and 11. And it reads, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, right? And understand 3 means understanding, right? And for 4, right, which means mercy, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. All right, the Lord's not going to change his mind as far as what he's going to do to evil E, right? As a nation. These niggas, Esau's doomed, bro. Esau's doomed, right? Proverbs 3:33. I will not turn away the punishment thereof because they have, I'm sorry, forgive me, I jumped down. Because he did pursue his brother with the sword, right? See? He did pursue his brother with the sword, right? Evil E pursued Jacob every generation. He pursued us, man, and seek to kill us, man. That same energy he had during the time of Isaac was the same spirit, the same energy he carried over from generation to generation. The same energy, bro. He always seeked to kill his brother Jacob, bro. And he's doing that now. You got to tell me why these ICE agents, and I keep bringing this up because it's such a highlight to the reality of this nigga hating Jake. You got to tell me why these ICE agents are not in these Chinatowns, man. All right? And in these Elam-packed cities, bro. You see? Or these Chinese nationalist area, or where Ham's at. Why are we seeing them jam-packed in the hood? All right, where so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are residing, bro. All right, because this is a campaign to come against the tribe. The stages is being set for Jacob's trouble. You know, and this is what we're telling you, Jake, about, bro. We warning you, Jake. This is your enemy, man. Evil E's bloodthirsty against you, man. He wants to delete you, bro. He may have given you a little job. You know, you might be able to go on vacation from time to time, but you better believe, bro. Hey, when Esau gets the chance to have it his way, he's gonna send you back to the spiritual world, bro. If he can, right? Look it. Let's continue on. But again, this is why the Lord's gonna get at this dude for everything he's done. Look it, because he did pursue his brother with the sword and did cast off all pity, no mercy. He showed no mercy. He casted off all pity. We read that James 2:13. This is why his mercy is not going to rejoice with his judgment. All right, this nigga's gonna have to fall victim to the terror that's produced for him, man. Because that scripture say, what's the Isaiah? I think it is. We're gonna meditate terror. See, evil E's gonna have to accept the terror that's projected towards on him. He ain't gonna have no way out of it, right? There's not gonna be no breathing room. Look it. And his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. I want to go here real quick. I want to get this real quick. I gotta go to Obadiah. This lesson wouldn't be right. I know you, Akim and Akwa, were probably wondering, he didn't even go to Obadiah once yet. He didn't go to Obadiah. Gotta go to Obadiah. Come on, man. You already know, beloved Akim and Akwa. Watch this. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, the only chapter, and verse 8. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, right? Which are the Germans, Teman, right? And understanding out of the mount of Esau, bro. All right, and we're witnessing that now. All right, we're witnessing Esau operate under a diluted, right? Non-directional, shooting at the hip mindset. This is what we're seeing, right? Is there no more wisdom in Teman, right? Look at verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, right? To the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter, bro. Every one of the mount of Esau. All right? Various scriptures. We got various witnesses of the Lord isolating Esau as a nation, and his plan is to eradicate him. Okay? All this is leading up to Obadiah 1:18. Look. He said, by slaughter, cut off by slaughter, bro. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, this is what it boils down to. Shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, bro. And this is the reality of Esau's fate. Let's go here. I got to go to the NLT. Right? Because this is what it's going to look like before Esau goes into captivity. The book of Isaiah. I'm going to hit the comment board as well. There's the book of Isaiah, chapter 34. Right? Bear with me. I'm just getting more messages on my phone. Let me see here. Book of Isaiah, chapter 34. Right? Dang, this is fire. Right? This is Isaiah 34. I'm going to start from verse 1. We're going to read on down. Right? In the New Living Translation. Check this out. The heading reads this in the NLT. A message for the nations, bro. A message for the nations, plural. All right? It doesn't say a message for the nations, but a remnant of the nations that decide to serve me and call on my name and receive Jesus Christ. Nah. Okay? It says a message for the nations, bro. The Lord's making a distinct separation between his people and the nation. This message right here is for you. All right? Starting with Esau. Come here and listen, O nations of the earth. Isaiah 34:1. Let the world and everything in it hear my words. For the Lord is enraged against the nations, bro. Okay? His fury is against all their armies. He will completely destroy them, dooming them to slaughter. Hence why, all right, when you read the book of Joel, the Lord is gathering the nations in the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat in the form of their military right over there in Saudi Arabia, bro. The Lord's mixing things up over there, man. He's gathering your nations, bro. Right? Just so he can descend upon you, pursuing the second Ezra 13. All right, that's what it's going to boil down to. Right? And then as he pursues his taking over of his planet. Right? The Lord's going to have many crowns, man. Revelations, right, 19. Look, their dead will be left unburied, and the stench of rotting bodies will fill the land. And you elite are going to have the job as to collect those dead bodies, bro, and bury them and burn them or what have you. That's going to be your first job, right? You're going to have continuous employment up until the day of your death row sentence being completed, right? Look at the heaven. Did I skip a line here? Yeah, I did. Isaiah 34:3. Their dead bodies will be left unburied, and the stench of rotting bodies will fill the land. The mountains will flow with their blood, bro. Because blood is required for what you heathen have done. There's not one of you heathen nations that haven't done us dirty, right? Tells us that in the Maccabees. Look at the heavens above will melt away and disappear like a rolled up scroll, right? Which is talking now. This is talking to the how the Lord is going to do it. All right, this is missile talk now. Look at the heavens above will melt away, right, and disappear like a rolled up scroll. The stars will fall from the sky like withered leaves from a grapevine or shriveled figs from a fig tree. This is not talking about the stars that the Lord has ordained and named all of. No, this is allegorical speech. All right, just like John the Revelator seen the stars falling from heaven. Remember, that's talking to the missiles, man. That's what that's talking to. Whether you can receive it or not. Hey, that's between you and Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But we know. All right, you beloved Akim and Akwal, we know. Okay? But my elders and apostles, a great millstone on down. We know what this is talking about. All right? Continuing on, verse 5. And when my words, I'm sorry, forgive me. I'm excited. Forgive me, Akim and Akwal. Isaiah 34:5. And when my sword, the missiles, has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Idumea, bro. Okay, again, Idumea. I always say Idumea. Idumea is the Greek and Latin way to say Edom. It says Edom here, but I've read it in the KJV so much, it's just muscle memory. But it says Edom here. So Isaiah 34:5. And when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for destruction. Hence why they're the third part of man. They're the sons of perdition. Perdition means destruction. All right, Esau was created to be eradicated. That's the title for a lesson, right? Let's continue on. Verse 6. The sword of the Lord Yahweh is drenched with blood and covered with fat, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of rams prepared for sacrifice, bro. And this is like it unto you people. All right, this is code talk. These animals that are being mentioned, all right, it's talking to you people in Babylon the Great. You see, you're going to be a sacrifice on the altar of Babylon. You see? Look it. Yes, the Lord will offer a sacrifice in the city of Basra, which Basra was a capital city of Edom, which is likened unto America today. Esau is Edom, right? Genesis 36:1. He will make a mighty slaughter in Edom. Verse 7, even men as strong as wild oxen will die, bro. Okay? So you can be squatting 800, deadlifting 1,000, and benching 750. Your ass is going to the upper room. Okay? This is what this is saying, man. Okay? Look it. All them peptides and all the other shit you want to take, you know what I mean? TRT, none of it's going to get you home, bro. Okay? Because the divine power is going to be on your ass. Them missiles, man. All right, let's go. Look at the young men alongside the veterans, bro. So old and young. The Lord's taking everything out, man. The land will be soaked with blood and the soil enriched with fat. Why? We brought out one scenario, one situation regarding the Wounded Knee Massacre. That's just one talking point. All right, regarding the atrocities that Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child has done to us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's just one talking point, and it was atrocious, bro. All right? Look, that land has to be disclosed, bro. That blood has to be disclosed, excuse me. For it is the day of the Lord's revenge, okay? The year when Edom will be paid back for all it did to Israel. The Lord's about that great payback, bro. And so are we. All right, again, that's the faith and the patience of the saints, man. When you want to get your, if we ask Esau, if Esau was in our shoes, okay, and we asked him, wouldn't you want payback in the life, wouldn't you want payback as far as what was done to your people? And you know, if they were in our shoes, and of course them demons would say, yeah, man, 100%. You gotta be a fool not to want payback, bro. But it has to happen according to the Lord's time. You know? The Lord, the Lord said what? Wait ye upon me until I rise up against the prey. Right? His determination is to gather the nations. You see? And pour upon them his indignation, bro. This is what's gonna go down, bro. But this is the Lord's movie. We're on the Lord's time. We can't come out of rank. You know, you don't want to fall out of rank because we can get touched up. The Lord is going to set this thing up perfectly. And the Lord is going to let this thing happen the way it's going to happen. It's going to transition. You see, Esau is almost over. All right, Esau's world is coming to a close. Okay? And then he's going to fall victim to Jacob's world. Right, let's go to the comment board real quick through the spirit. Hey, shalom to you, beloved Akiyam and Akwa. Yahweh Bahashem. Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, to you, beloved Akiyam and Akwa, beloved brother GMS in the Truth Orlando, a Shalom, beloved big bro, a Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatah, to you, Malak. Let's see what we got here. Forgive me, this comment was tripping. Oh, that's fire. I'm gonna get this from the beloved brother. Forgive me, Maya Ka'ala. Yeah, Maya Ka'ala, 144K Ba, Jeremiah 49:12, right? For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he? And this is talking to Esau. When you jump up to verse, like, I believe it's verse 7 or 8. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go there. Let's go there real quick. Because I like bringing context to it. It just makes it just speak, right? So, and I like to jump down. So Jeremiah 49 and verse 7. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at verse 8, and it reads, "Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, For I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. See, so there's a time that Esau is going to be visited. All right, look it. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Jeremiah 49:12. Behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? And there's a question mark there. Hell knows the answer. Okay? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. You're going to drink that cup. And what does that cup of the Lord entail? The cup of his vengeance, his indignation, captivity. Okay? You being pursued, you being pursued with the sword. Okay? I'm gonna go let me see, go back here. Oh, you got 13 too. We'll get that too. Jeremiah 49:13 from the same brother. I'm just reading down on the comment board now. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra, again the capital city of Edom, which will be likened unto America today, shall be a desolation, a reproach, a waste, a curse. Right? Because they're the cursed people. Right? Proverbs 3:33. And all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. Beautiful precept, bro. All right. I got to get this too. Psalms 50:21 from the same brother. All right. Psalms 50:21. Right. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. Right. Esau, see? Because judgment against the evil work is not executed speedily. Let me go get that real quick. Because I don't want to butcher it. I don't want to butcher that. Bear with me real quick. See, Esau, again, going back to that trick bag we were talking about. Right, the Lord has had Esau in the trick bag since the beginning. The whole time. Right? Since he manifested via the Renaissance period. And he was able to build back better. Right? After his 1,000-year downfall. Look it. This is the book of Ecclesiastes. Also, the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8 and verse 11, and it reads, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. See, Esau thought he was getting away with something. Evil, he thought he was onto something. Right? And now that he has these, now that technology has advanced, he's got the quantum computer, Neuralink, Palantir, robot dogs, and super soldiers. This nigga thinks that he's going to pull a fast one on the Lord. He thinks he's going to be able to hijack the birthright back, eradicate Jake, and chip every other one that doesn't want, you know what I mean? No, it's not going to work out for you, my boy. The Lord's not with you. Let me continue the precept from the beloved brother. Psalms 50:21. From the same brother, Maya Ka'ala, 144K Ba. From the top, Psalms 50:21. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. But I will reprove thee, right? The Lord's going to correct this guy, right? And set them as Israelites in order before thine eyes. And this is what's happening right now. We're being, do this upright conversation. And this is why Esau hates it. This upright conversation right here, all right? What scripture say? He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. All right? Within this counsel right here, we're learning righteousness, man. We're learning uprightness. You see? Which Esau is contrary to that. Esau is wicked, perverse, rebellious. You see? He wants you to operate like him. He wants us to be in transgression with our power. No, man. This right here puts us in league with him. You see, it puts us in a position where he's dealing with us, man, because we're not operating against him. We're being obedient. The Lord loves obedience, man. The Lord loves, Yahweh Bashim Yashai loves obedience, man. All right, and when you're operating under Esau's cloak, you're operating completely contrary to that, and he knows that, which puts the Lord at variance against us, man. So see, so Esau, this right here is really agitating him. This word. All right, because it's, again, we're living the upright lifestyle, but we're disconnected from this dude's philosophies and shit. You know, it's weakening him. But check it out. Right, let's continue on. Let's get this from the brother. Let's see here. Let's get this from the brother Isaiah, right? GMS in the Truth Orlando, right? Genesis 27 and 42. And these words of Esau, her eldest son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother has touched thee. Let me see. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to go get that, because that's when he said he's gonna kill his brother. I don't think it posted, because Esau be blocking precepts. But let's go get that real quick. Bear with me, Aki Aminakwa. Let me see here. All right, let's see here. Evil E didn't let it post, Akia. Yeah, the brother had put 41, I'm sure, as well. The Esau didn't let it go up. Right, this is the book of, I know the brother put that up for sure. The brother Isaiah. Right, this is the book of Genesis chapter 27 and verse 41, and it reads, And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Okay? And Esau said in his heart, in his mind, in his lob, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. This nigga's operating under that same protocol. Right? As I make this lesson, Esau's operating under that same protocol, bro. All right? Look it. And these words of Esau, her eldest son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau has touched thee. Doeth comfort himself, pursuing to kill thee, man. All right? And this is the mission he's still on. He's still on that mission. All right? This is why he's trying to search out the depths of the ocean. This is why he's trying to go up to the beyond the stars of heaven, bro. All right? His goal is to get that birthright back, man. All right, but it's not going to happen. Esau is on a failed mission. All right, coming up against his brother Jacob. All right, let's see what else we got here. I ain't pull it, but I'll get it. Hey, that spirit wants it to come up. There's from the brother. Oh snap! Salakia Yanaga, forgive me, brother. God damn. I hit you by accident, brother. I was this thing sketching out. Yanaga, forgive me, beloved Akia. I got you back on there though. Yeah, you back on there. I did that by accident. But needless to say, I can still see your precept. I'm gonna get a precept from you as well. Yeah, I know you put up some fire. Salakia, brother. Forgive me, Akia. All right, let me see here. The brother, hopefully of the elect. All right, he put up Numbers 35 and 33, and that had to come out. That was being quoted. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it, bro. All right, there's no hopscotching or moonwalking around that. All right, the Lord is gonna pay Esau back in blood, bro. That's how he's gonna do it. All right. All right, let's get this real quick. Let's see. I'm gonna get we'll close out with this from the beloved brother. The beloved brother Yanaga, Israel Benjamin, 144:7. And again, Salakia, brother. I had hit you by accident. It was a slip of the. It's doing this tablet, bro. Like doing it with a mouse, it's easier. But it's just like this shit goes crazy. Forgive my French. But we'll close out with this from the beloved brother. Let's see here. I want to get this Job 27 and verse 13, and it reads, we'll close out with this, Lord willing. This is the portion of a wicked man with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and the heritage of oppressors which they shall receive of the Almighty, bro. And that word heritage, Salakia, forgive me. That word heritage goes back to heir, okay? Well, that would be inheritance, excuse me. Well, this right here, right? It reminds me of the precept when it says the heathen shall inherit the Lord's wrath. I believe that's in the Apocrypha. If a brother knows what that is, I'll close out with that. But needless to say, I'll read this again. Job 27 and verse 13, it reads, "This is the portion of a wicked man with power and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty." What I want to do real quick, right? Now, real quick. I wasn't tripping. I was correct. So heritage, through a brain fart, forgive me. And the etymology of the word heritage, right, goes back to heir, right? And the reason why I'm getting this is because what you're gonna find out, right? When you go an heir, right? When you're an heir to the throne is owed unto you, right? Upon the fall of the king of your father. You see? So what that scripture is saying, all right, when we go back to what the beloved brother posted in Job 21 and verse 13 again, this is the portion of a wicked man. All right, this is Yanaga, Israel, Benjamin 144:7. This is the portion of a wicked man with power and the heritage of oppressors. Okay? So they're heir to this. They owed this, man. Look it. Which they shall receive of the Almighty, bro. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, right? Because that plague, the sword, the missile, is what's going to come upon these people, bro. Look it. And his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread, right? Because they're going to be eradicated. Job 27 and 15. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep, bro. His old lady ain't even going to give a damn about him when she sees him in his low estate. Right? His old lady can't stand him now. Now, what I want to do, I want to close up with that precept that came to mind. I think I know where it's at. I believe it's in the book of Sirach. I think I'm going to try to word. Let me see. Damn. Let me see if this comes up. Lord willing, it does. You know what? I know how it's worded. They'll definitely come up when I put this. It'll definitely come up if I put this. Let's see. The Wadi Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. There's the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 23, and it reads, and we'll close out with this. As he hath turned waters into saltness, so shall the heathen inherit his wrath, bro. That's a crazy cold precept right there. I'm going to read it one more time. The book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 23, and it reads, as he had turned the waters into saltness, so shall the heathen inherit his wrath, bro. That word inherit, which brings you back to heir, which goes back to what? What's owed unto you, man. All right? So these heathen are going to inherit the Lord's wrath, starting with Esau. All right? Evil will not be forgiven. All right? On the contrary, evil will not be forgiven. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, after that 1,000-year captivity that the heathen nations have to serve, all right, it tells us in Isaiah 14 that he's not going to have no burial. You see, meaning what? He's not going to have no resting place. He's not going to have no land to reside in and enjoying the paradise that's going to come of the earth under a righteous rulership. All right? Because we can't wait for that. Man, the earth got to be cleaned up. This is madness, bro. Like, I mean, we're upset about what this nigga did to us. Trust. You know what I mean? But man, the earth, the condition of the planet, bro, animal life, everything, man. You know, it's just completely flipped upside down. Everything's polluted. You know, everything's finished, bro. You know, everything's languishing. We're under this nigga's rulership, bro. But the change is coming. You know, just have faith in that Yahweh, beloved Akim and Akwal, have faith in that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is coming. A change is coming because Yahweh Shai is coming. All right, and that's the reality, man. There's no way that the Lord is going to allow these damn Edomites to continue to rule the earth forever, bro. It's not possible. I can't see that happening. You know, I just can't see it. There's no way. There's no way. Okay? So yeah, just, you know, hold on, keep fighting, you know, keep believing, fast as well as pray. You know, Yahweh Shai is on his way, beloved Akim and Akwal. Hey, and trust and believe. All right, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to settle the score with Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. Rest assured, man. He's going to settle the score with you, my boy. All right, make no doubt about it, man. But that's the point, beloved Akim and Akwal. I'm not going to be the dead dog. Hey, again, Yanaga, my beloved brother. Hey, so forgive me. I had hit the hide. You know I wouldn't hide you, beloved Akim. It was a mistake when I was going through the comments, but now you back up there, baby boy. And you already know, hey, shalom to you, beloved Akim and Akwal. Hey, Lord willing, you know, you were edified. Abaratazai, you were spiritually fed. And Lord willing, man, it was uplifting through the spirit. You know, because, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we're all in hell. You know, this is a nightmare. It truly is a nightmare. Like, you know, we're going to wake up tomorrow morning like, damn, but the beautiful thing about it is that we have this truth. You know, it really, I'm really starting to understand why the Lord coins this word, the comforter, man. I get it now, you know, through the Spirit. Because this brings true comfort, understanding that the Lord is coming. We're going to be delivered. You know, what we went through was for our correction. You know, and there's light at the end of the tunnel, man. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Kodash. Hey, double honors to the beloved elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Hey, till next time, beloved Akim and Akwal. Till next time, Shalom.